The Pinball Network is online. Launching Free Play Pinball Podcast.
What's up, everybody? Welcome to Free Play Pinball Podcast. We're going to call this one episode 12 and a half. I am happy to say that Bill has taken the night off. And when the boss is away, the children will play. So to my right, I have this really handsome guy that I call my own, Mr. Mike Hamilton, my husband. And directly in front of me, I have my other favorite guy, unless he's sending me really sexy pictures of ramen, Mr. Dave Fahlgren. Gentlemen, how are you tonight?
Good evening.
Doing well.
So it's been a hot minute. We have not recorded anything for Free Play that has made it out to the public in like 2 months. And what a year those 2 months have been. What has been new with you guys? Literally,
what a year those 2 months have been. Pinball's been kind of, well, it's been good and bad. I mean, I've been doing some, got to go to a couple tournaments with my my scheduling with my son. It's been falling on the wrong days, so I haven't been able to do many tournaments, but I have been spending some great times with my son. So I've been doing that. He's actually he's 6 now. He's becoming more of a pinball player, so that's been good.
Awesome.
He can reach the flippers a little better, and I got a nice foam bench for him to kind of stand on, so he's been digging that. But otherwise, just a lot of interesting things happening. A lot of some good things, some bad things. I guess we're going to talk about that in a little bit.
Yeah.
I think yeah, it's been a while. So, we lost we lost Lyman.
We did.
Since the last episode. Go ahead.
We did. We lost Lyman. We're recording this on February 23rd, so we lost Lyman a little over a month ago. And that still stings. And then we found out 2 days ago we lost Barry Alsler, and that hurts too. But it's definitely been an ups and downs kind of couple of months. We've had some new game releases. We've had some awards coming out. We have more awards coming up. Tournaments are starting back up. Big boy tournaments are starting back up. It's been a weird couple of months.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did you get any? What have you gotten? Did you get any new games in the past 2 months?
I'm going to defer that question to my publicist, honey.
Oh, that's me.
That's you.
I thought we were going to talk about boomerangs.
We're not. This is the Boomerang show. That's tomorrow. We record that.
Oh, I'm really interested in boomerangs.
Boomerangs come back. They come back. We'll have Dr. John on
back.
for that one.
I know. Are they born with that ability to throw boomerangs, or they have to learn it?
I think Dr. John and Emily are going to be at TPF, and we can ask them. Okay.
Okay. I'm going to write that one down.
Okay. All right.
Put that in my elephant notes.
You'll forget where you put the elephant notes.
Those elephant notes. Oh.
He'll forget where he puts them. So
yeah, so we might be buying a new still in the box, Mando Premium, maybe on Friday, possibly.
Yeah.
So yeah, from somebody down the road.
We kind of accidentally bought a pinball machine this week.
Yeah. Oops.
Weird things happen like that.
Oops.
We're still waiting on Alien. We're still waiting on our multimorphic. Obviously, the chip shortage and supply issues have continued to plague pinball. I don't know if you guys have heard that before, listeners, but yeah, apparently there is a part shortage. Who knew?
On everything.
Yeah, I was going to say, I know, Dave, you've been suffering through that with your business big time. Because you have to have the parts to make the parts.
Yeah, well, you have to have the machines to make the parts, and I sell the machines. They make some pinball stuff, but it's way, different things. But yeah, it's at this point, I think in everything, it's an inventory game, and whoever has something gets to sell it, and that's what you get to buy, and that's what I'm dealing with my customers on my business side, which is not pinball related, but even on my on the pinball side, yeah, I mean, it's, I'm finding games here and there and picking up. I buy the older stuff, obviously, but Yeah, it's pretty much what's out there, and it's been pretty barren. And I've been seeing a lot of people buying things. Friends of mine that are casually getting into, casual friends that are now trying to get hooked on it. And just it's like they're running around looking to score a game, and they're buying games that I don't think anybody would have thought much of 2-3 years ago. And they're clamoring, they're fighting to get those now. And, basically getting into bidding wars over, like an old Gottlieb game or something. And it's kind of like, whoa, where 5 years ago, that game would have been listed for 3 weeks at $600. So it's becoming an inventory game for everything at this point. Cause I'm even buying, like, I bought mangoes. I bought the smaller mangoes last week cause I couldn't get the big, the ones I liked, but it's just, seems like you can't seem to get anything you want at this point. It's just you get what you can.
No, I mean, I'm seeing it on the hospital side. Like, we're facing critical drug shortages that are terrifying to me, just because there's nothing available. Like the manufacturing and everything between COVID and supply issues and natural disasters has just been a 1-2-3 punch. So it's very interesting. And you brought up games would sit out there for 3 weeks, and now you're like, yeah, I saw a game for sale, and you go to find it again, and it's gone. Like, there's a sale pending on it hours later. There's nothing left.
I picked up a Bally Mr. and Mrs. Pac-Man on Saturday. Or was it Sunday? This weekend. I took a picture of it because I usually do and put it on Pinball Enthusiast on Facebook. Mm-hmm. I had the game sold before it was out of the back of my truck. Literally, well, it was out of the back of my truck. I got the message while I was taking it out of the back of my truck. I then checked the message while I was at my door, opening my door to bring it into my house. And basically somebody said, I got an offer and I accepted it. And it was like, wow. And I bought it just basically saying, it's a fun,
something to do.
I'll probably be sitting on it for a while. My son's 6. It's a Pac-Man. He likes Pac-Man. He was excited when he saw it's like, hey, I always show him, I always check with management. Hey, what do you think?
Right. It's like, important the boss approves it. Yeah. The boss has to approve all purchases.
Yeah. Of course. But he, so it was amazing. And then yesterday, I picked up a extremely interesting. I picked up a meteor that was all white. Extremely rare game that I didn't really know what I was getting into. I did a little research on it. The guy had told me that the game was at the Olympic Village in 1980, and that it was specially made by Stern, and he was kind of telling me this stuff, and I'm going, whatever. Figured it was a meteor. It was all white. It had like a white wood looking play field. I was like, nah, all right, I'll take,
white wood. Yay.
Yeah, I just figured whatever. It's cool, and it's a meteor, and I could still.
Yeah.
I don't care. And Meteor is a fun game, and I had some other ideas what I was going to do. Cromwell was doing that Cherry Atomic thing. I was like, maybe I'll do some Cherry Atomic on it. I don't know. And now I'm finding out that, there was like 8 games made for the Olympics. And I mean, this thing is just, it's like a museum piece.
Yeah, probably don't want to turn that into a Cherry Atomic.
No, I don't know.
Your call.
I say you give B-Man a pack of Sharpies and let him have at it.
Yeah.
Well, here's the biggest fear. That can happen. And that's, for me, it's always, I don't like to have anything that's that nice, because pinball to me is abusive. They're beating on, I mean, yeah, your kid could come in and write. I mean, anything can happen with a pinball machine. So I always get anxious when I have something. Like I had that Orbiter 1, and I had it. I played like 10 games on it and was like, I gotta get this thing out of here. It's too nice, because something's going to happen. Somebody's going to write his name on the side of this box, and it's not going to, it's going to be bad. So this one I'm trying to, I don't know. I just got it yesterday. I put it on Facebook today just to kind of show it and talk about it a little bit. Found out a few things about it that was really cool, that it was actually that game, one of the games that was there. And it's just neat. It's a whitewood. So yeah, if you look on Pinball Enthusiast on Facebook, I'll probably do something on Pinside too, but just a really cool game. And
there's some cool history on that then.
Yeah, I mean, because it was funny. I was talking to guys at work today about it, and I was like, 1980 Olympics, and I don't know. My one guy I work with is a big hockey fan. He's like, that was the Miracle on Ice. He's like, what if the players from the Miracle on Ice played on that game? And I was like, yeah, what if he's like, and then I'm like, well, what if the Russian, it could have been the Russians were playing that all night, and that's why they didn't play so well, and that's why the Americans beat them. So it's just like, it's neat. I couldn't find any actual pictures they've got a row in one of the pictures. They had like a disco, and I guess Olympic Villages are a good time. I gotta go check one out someday.
I don't think they are anymore. Something about the COVID stuff. I don't think they're as cool. Yeah,
well,
maybe
for now.
Yeah, what was it, Sochi or whatever a few years ago? I think was really bad too. They need to do like the Olympics in like the Bahamas or something. Let's make this a party.
Yeah, well, this was in New York at Lake Placid, so was probably a little more fun. But yeah, I mean, they have videos of these guys. Everybody's like, I mean, it looks like an arcade, and there's just a row. They show some of the Bally games. They had a Kiss and a Dolly and some other stuff, but I didn't see any of the Sterns. But then apparently Marco had a game at the 2013 Expo. They had the Galaxy version of this all white. So I was like, wow, that's about as real as it gets. So apparently they made 8 total white games, and there was 2 Galaxies, 2 Meteors, 2 Stars, and 2 Flight 2000s, if I remember correctly. So I've got one.
No, that's pretty cool.
And from what I remember our conversation of earlier, you will be willing to part with said game for the discounted price of $45,000 in today's market.
I wouldn't get that crazy. I've actually gotten 2 offers on it already just from the pictures, and I don't know. I get romantic about stuff, and then it's like, okay, well, let's pay the bills and let's fill up the war chest and get some more stuff. So I sold a couple other games this month just because I've got too many games that are in production, under construction, and that I'm working on. So it's kind of like, all right, I sold some old Sterns that I just figured I may as well. Nobody was playing them. I wasn't putting a lot of time on them. So I just figured, I've got a Hobbit in my basement right now that is getting a lot of work. So it's not mine, but somebody is borrowing it to me because he ran out of space. So you know how that is when you get too many games, but you don't want to get rid of them.
We have a whole house. What's the issue?
Right. I have a basement though. So
shut up.
I want to get this game, but I don't want to get rid of this one. I was like, I'll hold it for you. So yeah, that and my son just loves the Smog multi-ball is like the deal. So
Hobbit is a fun game.
Really cool.
Yeah.
I hated it I hated it. I did not. I will admit, and I have been on another podcast saying how much I hated Hobbit, and now I really like Hobbit. So
isn't it funny how your taste changes as you are kind of forced to deal with the game more and more?
Yeah, well, it's funny because I think the other thing was that the versions that I was playing, they weren't working correctly, and this one that I got was kind of a basket case, so I got it to work. But I got it running good and everything. But it's when you actually get some time on that game and realize, okay, because I'm all about speed, and that game is like playing pool. Yeah. It's just you're just taking the shots. Where I'm Steve Ritchie, I'm bam, 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 bam. And it's fun because when I have friends over, we'll play Hobbit. And I'm like, okay, let's jump on Fishtails, and they're just like, whoa! It feels like you're going 100 miles an hour.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, how much time have you guys had on Mando? Have you played a lot?
Couple of games. Not many.
Not a whole heck of a lot. I mean, obviously, being the Star Wars nuts that we are, and we can talk about this because Bill's not here.
I know. Nobody's rolling their eyes right now.
I know, right? Or going, okay, let's keep moving. We love you, Bill. Yeah, we don't have a whole heck of a lot of time on it, but being the Star Wars fans that we are, and loving the Mando franchise, and then Book of Boba Fett, the best episodes, spoiler alert, had Mando in them.
I like the Tusken episode as well, but go ahead.
That one was good. That one was good.
One was great.
You just can't beat Boba Fett bareback in a Rancor, though. I mean, that was wicked.
Yeah, there were some things I would have done differently, but it was good. It was I'm on a lot of different forums with Star Wars too. It's another one of my passions. So basically it got to the point where I was just like, guys, we got, space wizards with laser swords, and it's 45 minutes that I didn't have to spend dealing with reality. So anytime I can do that between pinball and Star Wars, that's pretty much, those are my two. Pinball, Star Wars, and fish tanks are pretty much my escape from reality. So,
well, there you go.
Anytime I can get on those, it's a good time.
Absolutely, absolutely. So we're excited. No, but Mando's it's gonna be fun. It'll be interesting. It's a game that we had discussed purchasing when it came out, and honestly, new pinball is expensive. So funding and knowing there's other games coming out and on order and just room.
Yeah, we're not making really great financial adult decisions at the moment, but it's fun.
We need an adult.
Yeah, where's
Mono?
I need Mono.
We need an adult.
We needed an adult today. He was nowhere to be found.
The thing is, though, again, and if you can, obviously you're not skimping on, you're paying your bills, you're getting your grocery, you've got some money saved up. It's still not a bad investment. I used to kid it's better than buying a boat, but apparently now buying a boat isn't all that bad either because guys are making money selling their boats that I'm friends with. So, but no, it's an inventory game. So you've got that game. You'll be able to turn it.
Yeah.
Absolutely. You'll always break even. And that was, because I was talking to a couple of friends about, even with that meteor, I was like, I'm going to go pick up this meteor. I told them how much I was paying for it. And they're like, that's kind of high. There's not that, and I went, I'll be able to sell it. You can always sell it for that much.
Yeah. And that's kind of when we started talking about this, it was like, all right, well, it's new in box. It's slightly less than MSRP. It's local, so we don't have to wait for shipping and worry about somebody hand trucking it in backwards. FedEx Freight, I'm talking to you. And it's something that if we leave it in the box, we can stick it in a corner until the toppers come out and try and flip it, or we can open it and play it, ideally, which is why we like pinball. It's because we enjoy playing them. So we'll see what happens. But ultimately,
you can't play with your money, and if you do, it's kind of weird. But that's what it works.
Money is dirty though. Ugh.
I've gotten some pretty nasty pinball machines.
Yeah.
You guys, your machines are in much nicer shape than mine are.
Yeah, we buy a lot newer stuff than you do too, though. But it'll be fun. It's exciting. And then we picked up some really cool artwork as well, some Star Wars artwork that I sent you some pictures of. Listeners, I don't know if you guys follow Dane Henry, whose name may or may not ring a bell. He did the artwork for Guns N' Roses, JJP's Guns N' Roses.
Oh.
That guy. Phenomenal artist. He did some really, really badass Star Wars artwork. And luckily, my husband happened to be trolling Facebook at that point in time, and we ended up with a Boba Fett and a Darth Maul print. Both are 1 of 1. They're gorgeous, super super cool. Dane's work is spectacular, and I strongly recommend that everybody check it out. Not just pinball,
nice
but in general. Yeah.
I basically put together that it was the guy, but when you sent me the pictures, because you're always trying to rub things in, because I've got the best food in the world up here, and you've got nice weather, and you could pick up
cool artwork and new pinball machines. Yeah.
I know.
I basically pleaded with him to do another one, so.
Yeah.
So that was a custom piece. Was that a custom piece?
No. The two that we ended up picking up were publicly available. They were posted on Facebook, but we would beg and plead for him to do additional art because he's just phenomenally talented.
Yeah, and Randy Martinez has put some stuff out as well.
Randy Martinez,
I've got some of his artwork too.
He's such a cool dude. It would be, it would be fun if both those guys end up at an expo because.
I don't know if Dane's going to be at TPF, but I think Randy is.
Randy is. I saw that announced. I'm hoping that Dane will, but I'm not sure.
I think everybody's going to be at TPF except for me.
That's not true. Bill's not going either. And neither is Steve Beatty, because we were trying to get Bill and Beatty to go and have a good time and make bad choices with us, but they will not. But that's okay.
Texas is a little different setup than Expo because it doesn't go as late. Well, Expo didn't have the 24-hour room this year, but it still seems like Texas just kind of shuts down at midnight. So it's just kind of there's some other areas you can go to, but it just doesn't seem like it has as much at the end of the night. And I, of course, as you well know, am the guy. I'm usually the last man standing. So
I saw pictures of the hotel room. I know what goes on.
Yeah, you know what though? Most of that mess
was. I think you lost a shoe.
No, he threw it at somebody.
Like that was just everybody coming through and getting chicken. No, I threw my shoe at 2 people. Maybe 3. I can't quite remember. 2 people told me I threw my shoe at them. I think I threw my shoe at somebody else.
You're probably
Yeah, it
about
was
to
the
lose
left,
shoe
and it was the left
privileges.
one both. It was the left one both times. I'm left-handed. For some odd reason, I took my left shoe off.
That is
But
fantastic.
yeah, it was. I have fun. But yeah, and actually, no, Texas is great. The weather. Well, you don't care about the weather. You've got the weather, but I had been there the last few times, and it was great. But yeah, I had to make a few. I just basically had to say, well, I can't do it this year. I will be at MGC. My meteor, I might bring the meteor to MGC if I'm feeling it's up to that kind of, the standard of getting, played, or see if somebody will let me put it in their booth, just because it's a neat game. So yeah, I that might be making an appearance. It just really depends on how my schedule is as far as getting that thing all squared away. It needs to be cleaned and just gone through and everything. But MGC is a fun show for me because Texas is very busy. There's a lot of people there. There's a lot of excitement because it's the first show. MGC is more of it's all games. So you've got Dungeons and Dragons people there. It's everything. It's all types of gaming.
Yeah.
And the pinball
Yeah,
really wasn't as big a deal. The last few years they had debuted a lot of games there. That's why I always enjoyed going. And it's only an hour and a half from my house, so I didn't have to
Well,
get
that
on a plane.
helps.
Yeah, basically Milwaukee's a suburb of Chicago. Sorry, people from Milwaukee, but it's an hour and a half away. So
Yeah.
Yeah, we got to make it to Free Play Florida or whatever it's called.
Yeah, we
in Tampa.
it's in
Or
Orlando.
Orlando.
It's in Orlando. So we were
No
gonna
idea.
go. We didn't realize last year, like until day of, and we're like, oh crap, we should go. And I think he was working. I don't remember. We had stuff going on or something. And then this year, literally TPF is the only vacation time I'm gonna get. So I will not get to go to the Capitol and eat the yummy food. Sadly, I'm not gonna get
I'll send
to
you
go.
some pictures.
I'll send you some back.
Nah.
It'll be a heart in your cappuccino.
That's not a heart.
No, it'll be a heart. You just won't know what type of animal it came from. No, I wouldn't do that. But yeah, so somebody had asked, hey, can you guys come up to Louisville and do the Louisville show? That would be really cool. Expo obviously is something that we've been asked about. You guys coming to Expo again this year? No, because I'm going to be working. But we are going to try and get down to Free Play Florida. So, if anybody's planning on heading that way, hit us up.
When is Free Play Florida? When is that?
It is typically 2 weekends, or it's typically the weekend after MGC.
Oh, I can't do that.
Yeah. Are you sure? Because it won't be snowing
not
here.
with that attitude, you can't.
Yeah.
Well, I'm just saying. That's
swimsuit.
well, because the thing was TPF was always like 2 weeks before MGC, and it was like, oh, that was the thing, and I just went, well, kind of worn out right now. So yeah, I was just like, I'll just do MGC. It's an easy, I don't have to jump in a plane. I don't have to rent a car. Basically just jump in my car with a couple other guys and cruise up there, get a hotel room for a couple nights, if even. My one friend drove home and came back the next day because it was only like an hour and a half. So he's like, yeah, he had some stuff he had to do with his daughter, and then came back that night. So, but yeah, for me to jump on a plane, I'm going to end up, I kind of made the decision, sorry, pinball people, but if I was getting on a plane this year, I was going to end up on a boat. So that was kind of my decision.
We can stick him on a boat.
Were they going to kick him off the plane?
No, he wants to get on. He wants to get on.
I'm just saying.
He likes to go travel and fish and stuff like that.
Oh, don't drink the water.
Yeah, we can stick him on a boat. That we can make one of those little paper boats for him and have him sit on it.
Give him some.
I think I was in a paper boat at some point at the first TPF, but I don't know. Anyhow,
regardless.
Yeah.
So getting back to pinball, we can kind of start at the beginning, I guess, and work our way out. So Rush Pinball Is Out. We have John Borg as lead designer. We have Tim Sexton and Ray Day on rules, and we have a newcomer, Michael Barnard, that is on the art. Chuck Ernst is involved in this. Game looks cool.
I think it looks pretty.
It's interesting. Lots of music on it. Lots of assets. The guys from Rush were involved. One of the guys from Bare Naked Ladies was involved. I know Borgie is a huge Rush fan. I know that there's been some positive feedback with gameplay from some of the people that I have talked to. The expression lighting looks cool. I like the expression lighting. There's so much potential with that. What do you think, Fahlgren?
my friends that have played the pro were really impressed with it, and my one buddy was like, "Hey, I mean, with that lighting on there, it's nice. The main thing too, the shots are solid. I haven't played it. I was trying to get out and play it, but my scheduling's just been upside down. But I missed like 3 good opportunities to go play it, and just
And you
haven't been
suck
able
at
to get
life
on
and
it.
you haven't done it, huh?
I've just this adult thing, you know.
Adulting sucks.
It's so dumb to do adult.
I know.
Yeah.
Like this is yeah, I know. It's and it was also a more well, actually no, I have no excuse because there's 3 places I could have gone to play it. And actually the rush kickoff party at Intarium is this Saturday.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm going to be ice fishing. So yeah, the other problem is that it's been really cold, so we have ice up here, and we haven't had ice like this in a few years, and I've got a lot of ice fishing stuff, so it's kind of like, well,
might as well use it.
I got to jump on it. Yeah. So it was more my friends dragging me out than anything. But yeah, I've got an ice fishing tournament I'm going to up in Wisconsin. That's a lot of fun. Last year I won 20 pounds of bacon. So
Nice.
I was like, well, I could go
bacon
to
is good.
I could win a Translite, or I could win 20 pounds of bacon.
And in all fairness, right now with inflation, that 20 pounds of bacon is worth like 3 times the Translite.
Yeah.
It's like solid bacon too. It's like from like a smokehouse. I forgot the brand,
yum.
but if you tell somebody I won 20 pounds of bacon, like I was telling people, I won 20 pounds of bacon. They were like, oh, is it from, and I forgot the name of this place, but like it's one of those places where like you'd order it for people online and get it shipped to their house. And it was good. It was actually peppered, and I didn't really like it that much, but my sister and my brother-in-law loved it. My sister made like 10 meatloaves from it. So
nice.
Anyhow, 20
very
pounds
cool.
of bacon.
Yum.
Yeah, but
yeah, it looks cool. I'm excited. I mean, board games are fast. The shots are usually, if you don't hit them exactly, you're not going to hit them. But I do like the speed in which his games are played, and I know there's been some controversy with the scoop.
Yeah, well,
Scoopgate 2022.
It happens.
Yep.
You know, there was a lot of this outrage, and I'm just like, well, it's not like it's a Takata airbag that was throwing a projectile through people's chests. So, okay, yeah, the material was a little thin. Sorry. And hey, it's easy for me to say I don't have one. I didn't pay a bunch of money to have it sitting on my floor, but things happen.
And Stern has literally, and Stern has literally said, hey, if you filed a warranty complaint, you're going to have a new scoop protector. Like, your piece will be in. We realize this is an issue, and we're fixing it. So kudos to Stern for jumping on that. That's pretty cool. Let's see. So after Rush, we had the loss of Lyman Sheets, who is a legend.
If I could do 1/1000th for anything that compared to what Lyman had done, I mean, name one game that he's done that wasn't a top game. I mean, basically, if you ask anybody their wish list, it was interesting because when some people announced it on Pinball Enthusiasts and some other spots, and Pinball Enthusiasts is a lot more of a casual base compared to Pinside, but a lot of people are like, who's that? And I was just like, look at your top 10 list.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
Look
at your personal lineup if you have a couple of games.
I mean, his impact on the game is, and not only that, I mean, what he did, he was so competitive. He bled tokens. I say that about there's a few people I say that about. He's one of them. I mean, I didn't know him that well. I had run into him at a few different, kind of some parties where guys were playing and he was there. And I mean, the guy just was all about pinball. I mean, he just was he loved it so much that he played it and then said, I want to make it better, and then made it better. And then it was like, all I have to say is anytime they said it's a Lyman Sheets is doing the code, it was like, yeah.
Then you knew it was going to be good.
Period.
And
he was the wolf.
He was amazing. I mean, lightning in a bottle. How many times?
He wasn't even lightning in a bottle. He was a generator.
He really was. He really was. His coding skills and his understanding of the game and what people wanted, and like you said, the fact that he actually played competitively as well. and just his iconic stance when he played is just it's going to be missed. For our listeners who are very new into this hobby and are not familiar with some of Lyman's work, because there are a lot of names in pinball, and remembering everybody who did everything on every game is very difficult sometimes. Some of the games you may realize he did Elvira's House of Horrors. He did Medieval Madness Remake. He did AC/DC. He did Attack from Mars Remake. He was working on the code for Cactus Canyon Remake at the time of his passing. He has done Walking Dead. I mean, these are games that are not like, oh, well, it's Doodlebug. Who? These are games that you see in bars. These are games that you see at the bowling alley. These are games that you see when you're out and about, and are everywhere. They're en route. They're available for the masses, and they're good. They're really good games.
Batman 66.
Batman 66.
I don't like that game, but that code on that game is fantastic.
Tron, yeah.
He did Metallica too.
Yep, he did do Metallica, Avatar, Rolling Stone, Spider-Man, Sopranos, Revenge from Mars, Monster Bash. Never heard of that game before,
Yeah, no, he and on some of my Data East games, he is credited on there, but he's not on the list, so it's interesting. So, I mean, he just, like I said, it was like he was the GOAT of coding, and that's
people would buy Lyman Sheets games.
When you heard Lyman was doing the code, it was like, oh geez, Lyman's doing the code. It was like, he was the GOAT of coding. I mean, I don't know if there's any coders that would be mad at me for saying that or disagree with me, but there's some great coders out there, but man, I'll tell you what, undisputed best coder. I don't think I've never heard anyone say, oh, well, no. And I hate Batman 66. That code and that artwork is fantastic. I don't like the way it shoots. If that game shot slightly better, I would like that game a lot more, but the code on it's phenomenal. Fantastic.
Yep.
Fantastic. So yeah, rest in peace, Lyman. And, and on a side note, it's just, it's a shame. It really is a shame.
And I'm gonna jump on my healthcare soapbox. If you're struggling, if you're fighting, don't do it alone. Get help. But back to happier times. Lyman, will miss you. Your legend will live on. And I think that we will potentially see a posthumous Crystal for Legacy Award at some point. We did have the Pinball Industry Awards literally days after we found out about Lyman's passing. Congratulations to the show's dear friend and my absolute favoriteest person on the face of the earth, Dwight Sullivan, for winning the Legacy Award, first ever. Spoiler alert, Godzilla cleaned house. I know nobody saw that coming. Stern Pinball took home 11 crystals. So I did actually reach out to George Gomez to ask him when the shelving would be done to house that new hardware. But congratulations to all of those teams on all of that. Were you surprised at all that Steve Ritchie didn't pick up a crystal for Zeppelin?
No. I'll tell you what. I mean, Zeppelin's a fun game, but Godzilla's going to go down. Godzilla good. Is I think about buying a new unboxed Godzilla. There's a couple games. I
encourage you to buy Godzilla a new unboxed and Godzilla. That game is so good.
I know. Oh, Godzilla so and GNR, it's like I look at my collection. There's only been two games, there's only been two new unboxed games that have made me, after I played it, go home, go down in my basement and do the math and say, I could get rid of you, and I could have that game here. And then sat on my stairs and said, and called Bill and have Bill go, you're never going to find a fishtails. You're never going to get, and it's just like, oh man. Cause yeah, it took me 3 years to find my fishtails. It took me 5 years to find my Tales from the Crypt.
Bill has a Godzilla on order, right?
I know. I know. And Bill cracks me up. He's like, you come over and play. Bill lives like an hour from me. I'm like, no, I can't. No, I
mean,
need a place around here to get it. I could,
Yeah.
but I mean, there's plenty of places for me to play Godzilla. Thank God. I mean, I can go. I am blessed that there are some arcades around here, so I can go play it, and I have.
It's so good.
I've gone to Ontario and I've burned up. I've had a couple beers and played a whole lot of Godzilla. So
when your pinball tab is higher than your bar tab, you know the game is good.
That never happens.
You need to go on the 2-for-1 night then, sir. But
my bar tab is higher.
No,
my pinball tab is higher than my bar tab.
Mm-hmm.
No, I don't drain that bad. I mean, I play.
Oh, I do.
No, I mean, I think. Well, no, but what? Well, I live in.
Well, now he's doing the math, and there's
I'm not.
fingers
No, I'm
involved,
just saying.
and
I'm
he's
not
taking
drinking
off a shoe.
I'm not drinking 225 Coronas. I mean, like at Intarium, I think it's like $7-8 a beer, and I have 2 beers. That's $16. I'm not playing 16 games of Godzilla in 2 hours.
You're not doing it right then.
Attitude again.
I know.
What do you mean I'm not
doing?
What do you mean I'm not doing it right? I mean, come on. I'm not draining that fat. I mean, no, no.
It is so good.
No, it's a great game. I'm just saying I don't drain that fat.
I do. Oh God, I'm terrible at pinball.
But the difference is, if I was at home, if I'm at home, I'm a 6-year-old man. I'm banging 4 games. I'm playing.
Oh no, I still drain bad. When we were at Intarium, I was still throwing down money on the table on that game. Like I was wasting money left and right to play it because it was so good.
Yeah, no, it's a great game. It is a great game.
It is so good. I think that one is, and the code keeps getting better. Rick Nagel is doing a phenomenal job on that. Like that game is just, so good. The only complaint I have is I would make Godzilla greener. Love you, Jeremy.
I don't know. I like the artwork. I
think it's beautiful.
Between Guns N' Roses and Godzilla, those are 2 games in the past 2 years. We have been handed 2 fantastic games, and so those would be the 2 games that I would say. And then behind that would be Pirates, and no, I mean looming over that would be Pirates if you could ever find one without having to get a second mortgage. But realistically, something that I could buy would be a new GNR and a new Godzilla. Those would be definitely 2 that I would like to get my hands on.
I very, very strongly encourage you to pick up a Godzilla. The game is fantastic. I have talked to a few people who have said, "Oh, it's overrated. It's overrated. You're just on the hype train. It's overrated." And then they play it, and then they order one. So, toot toot.
Yeah, I'm not a hype train person.
No, you're not.
And there have been times that I have gone to a show to play a game that I was going to buy new in box, that I had an actual theme in my basement to go around that said title.
He's talking about Star Wars.
No, I'm not talking about Star Wars.
Oh, okay.
Star Wars I would love to buy. It was very close.
It was a different game. Okay.
It was a different game. I actually went and played it when it debuted. Star Wars, I just got out of neck surgery, so there was no way I was doing anything. Because I couldn't get my head straight. But basically, there was another game, and I just was I put my money in my front pocket, and I was going to buy a game I was going to buy one at the show and take it home, and just went and my friends were like, "What? Like, dude, which one are you?" And I'm like, "No." Had to walk away. So I'm not a big hype train person. That game's good. I mean, that game is just fun. It's solid. And I played a premium at Galloping Ghost in the tournament. I don't know. Maybe it's just because I do really well when I play the game, because I've seen other people not play that well on it. And I don't know. That game talks to me. I like fast, and that game can be as fast as you want it to be.
It can, but it also is controllable. And I like that aspect of it as well. I personally really like it because my name is still on the Grand Champ on our home edition.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I've also put a few games on it.
I don't get to play it much.
Yeah, he doesn't get to play much at all. So I try to put, it's like,
now's your chance. Run.
Yeah, right. Take your vitamin, play your Godzilla.
I encourage it.
No, it's great. And our daughter loves it too. Like, she actually is like, Mommy, Daddy, can we play pinball? And then she goes and we have Godzilla sitting in between Willy Wonka and Star Trek, and she's turning Godzilla on instead of Wonka. So it's good. It's really good.
Yeah.
Yep. Couple other shout outs just for the sake of the fact that they're awesome people. Congratulations to Jason Knapp for his winnings on the Pinball Industry Awards. Congratulations to Dennis Kreisel and Zach Minnie for their trophy for podcasting. I still maintain that Manu and George Fisher got robbed for their streams, but I digress. And just all the winners, it was great. I was part of the PIA committee, and we had some really awesome vote and turnouts. So congratulations on that. Scott Denisi, TNA, super, super awesome, inducted to the Hall of Fame. I know he didn't see that coming, and it's one of my favorite games, so that was really cool to see too. And then, go ahead. What were you going to say?
I was going to say a TPF. When he brought that game to TPF, he just brought it in. I've known Scott from Pinball Life, and the funniest thing was I was watching a stream. Moto had something going on where it was like a stream on I don't know what it was on, but I had it on. It might have been YouTube or something. And she's like, we're talking with Scott Denisi. And I look up, I'm like, Scott from Pinball Life? And he's like showing his game. And I was like, holy cow. Because Scott's a great dude. He is, there's a few guys that I can just geek out pinball wise. And Scott is one of them. I mean, like, we would just talk about the dumbest things. And that's why I appreciate his game so much, because I see the different things he does. And there's things we've talked about. And it's just like, he's another guy that bleeds tokens. Like, he loves pinball. He just gets it.
He's a purist. He
works at Pinball Life. His basic job is he sits in this little room and makes stuff so that your pinball life is better. That's funny, Pinball Life. But yeah, hey. I mean, literally, if you ever go in his little room, he's got all these 3D printers, and he's sitting there and he's designing something, and he's soldering something, and he's talking on the phone with somebody, giving him some tech support. He's a great guy, and it just cracked me up. There's only been a couple times where I've like heard something on the TV and I'm like, who? And there he is. I'm like, wow, there's Scott. So yeah, I'm really glad that he got that. And TNA was just a great Cinderella story. But yeah, I mean that, and I personally, I love that Whitewood. I will play that Whitewood anytime he puts it out.
It was for sale somewhere.
No, it was not, was it?
Yeah.
I mean, it was like $25,000.
Yeah, when we were looking for the TNA, yeah. Well, and it was funny because I had reached out to Bill and I said, hey, Mike finally told me I could get a TNA. Are there any of them you know of that are not publicly available? Because, Bill's like the guy who knows everybody.
Yeah.
And he's like, well, there's this one. And I was like, no, we already found that one. And I was told I have to stay under $25,000 for this game.
Yeah.
Yeah, a little rich for us. So we had PIAs. Speaking of Scott, he is credited with contributing to the sound for the new P3 multimorphic game. They finally released after weeks of really horrible teasers and
Scott doing music is good.
I love Scott. He looks like he's 12 too. I absolutely love Scott. He's so much fun.
It was funny. My then wife, now ex-wife, said she saw the video of him with the moto, and she goes, he reminds me of a young Harrison Ford. And I went, oh, what? And then I looked at it, and I'm like, I kind of see, like, I don't know. I don't know, but that's what she said. She's like, he reminds me of a young Harrison. She was good for a few good lines from time to time, but yeah, that's what she said. He looks like a young Harrison Ford.
I don't see the Harrison Ford resemblance.
I don't know.
But I can look
it may
again.
Have been like I'm thinking like Apocalypse Now, Harrison Ford, maybe. I don't know.
Maybe something like that.
I didn't see it. She said it, not me, but yeah, I just remember her saying, because I was kind of losing my, I was like, oh my God, that's Scott. I was like, what? He's got a game. This is super cool. Like, I didn't realize.
He's so modest too. Like, he's so
plus like every time I see him, we're like talking about Dr. Dude or like, whatever goofy thing he's doing. And like, we never talked about his projects. We were talking about other games that we were into, and I'm always buying weird stuff. So
yeah.
you know, I mean, we've had long conversations about Torpedo Alley, and I mean that was way back then. So yeah, it was kind of like in my earlier Data East days when I was buying a lot of Data East games, and we would talk a lot about that. Yeah, I mean which is why I like Rick and Morty, because I think that upper flipper shot reminds me a lot of some of the Data East shots, and it's like I play Rick and Morty really well and don't understand why people have such a problem with it, because I'm used to that shot. That's a Data East. I mean, that upper flipper reminds me a lot of there's a few Data East games that it reminds me of. So yeah, but no, congratulations, Scott Zanisi, and yeah, looking forward that music. So he's doing the music for Weird Al?
No, he is doing the audio for Weird Al. He is not doing the music. Weird Al is doing the music.
Right.
But he is credited on the new P3 Weird Al Yankovic History Museum. I don't know the name of the game.
Museum of
Hilarity and Madness or something like that. This is so bad.
Where's Alex? We need Alex.
Where's Alex?
Alex, we need you.
And their website's so easy to deal with.
So I had it up somewhere.
I
Museum
of Natural Hilarity.
Yeah.
Supposed to play on history.
I get it. So that explains why they were chiseling the guy. It was supposed to be like a museum.
I don't know what.
Their teasers were crap. Alex, you and I are talking at TPF. We need to discuss how you tease somebody.
Everybody thought it was Clash of the Titans. I'm like, dream theme Clash of the Titans. Release the Kraken. I mean, I just want that. I want Release the Kraken like multi-ball on Hobbit, you know. Multi-ball, I want Release the Kraken, and jackpot. But yeah, I just jackpot. Oh my God, my son says it, and it's so badass when a 6-year-old goes jackpot. Between that and him going, one of his first words was "Give me your money," and I was like, "That's my son."
That, ladies and gentlemen, worked as a paternity test for Dave.
Mm-hmm.
I kid. I joke.
Well, actually, there was a time when he looked at me and he said, "Dad, I hate pinball. I want an arcade game." And the test came back positive. He was actually mine, and I bought him like a little 1-up Star Wars, which I love. I like the 1-up Star Wars arcade game's great, and it fits him nicely. But no, that was always my joke. Was like, after he said that, I went and got him tested. No, he's definitely mine.
Yeah.
1,000%. Anyhow,
yep.
And he's really good at pinball. So
are you sure he's yours? No, I'm just kidding.
I've got little to do with. I mean, he plays really well. When I took him over to Jersey Jack that one time, I stopped by and he got a tour, and then he got to play. And Eric came out and he was playing Guns N' Roses, and Eric was like, "Wow!" He like trapped up the ball, and I was like, "Yes." Yes, that's my boy. Like he trapped the ball, and Eric's like, "Wow!" And then like Eric told him to hit the scoop shot, and he hit it, and he was like, "Wow, that's impressive." And I was like, "That's my boy." And then of course, and now all I hear is, "Dad, we need to get that Guns N' Roses game," And it's like, well, I got a play field in the basement. And he's like, "Why don't we have this whole game?" And I'm like,
we need a few more parts.
Yeah, yeah, because you still have both your kidneys, son. Yeah. So more to come. Hopefully, we'll see some of that. The P3 Weird Al and the.
I mean, what avenue do you? It cannot be all Weird Al music. I think it's gonna have to be like just some cool. Could it almost be like a Rocky and Bullwinkle where it kind of goes through different stuff?
That would be awesome.
Because it can't be like it can't be Weird Al tracks the whole damn time.
No, I don't know.
Yeah, who knows?
I don't know.
We're not there. We don't see it.
Yeah, I know that. Go ahead.
It's just, I mean, look at the title. So clearly it's not just a music
so I think Weird Al, it's almost going to be like a Dr. Doody Weird Al kind of walking you through stuff. And Weird Al's a cool character, but.
Yeah. I don't know. The game is claiming the best shot in pinball. That's a pretty bold statement for pinball, but we'll see. Yeah.
I haven't heard that one.
Yep, there is a claimant has the best shot in pinball. That is TBD. Once people put their hands on it, but they also, Multimorphic is beefing up their stock too. They added Bowen Cairns and Colin McAlpine. So they're not slouching in the talent department. Like,
it's going to be the same. It's going to be the same foundation though.
Yes.
So it's going to be that same It's not. They're not changing the way that the games. They're not changing.
There's not going to be a brand new huge
yeah.
game to put it. It's still going to be that same kind of multimorphic
Yeah,
platform.
you're still going to have the screen,
Still the same
and the upper
platform.
third.
Yeah.
Yeah, none of that's changing.
Yep.
Okay.
So we had that, and then last little bit of news this week, we learned of the passing of Barry Alsler. He had just joined. He was just announced to have joined American Pinball 2.5 weeks ago, and yeah, another legend gone. Very talented designer, and just hopefully they don't come in threes, because you can't lose anymore.
Yeah, I mean there's been a few performers too that have passed lately that have bummed me out, but yeah, Barry. I mean, if you look at what he's done,
so
Gorgar.
Exactly.
First talking game.
Yeah. Junkyard, you have Jackbot, you have Popeye.
Oh yeah, who doesn't love Popeye?
Zach.
Well,
That's your game, buddy. Bad cat.
Well, I'm going to tell you right now, and a lot of people don't know about it because it wasn't a high production game. I mean, they did 2,700 of them, but Grand Lizard has the best Magnus save in pinball. And I will honestly say, if it wasn't for, and Python is a fantastic artist. He did Bad Cats. He did a lot of the Barry games, but Python's artwork on Grand Lizard was not very strong as far as I'm concerned. He's done a lot better work. Grand Lizard is one of the best games of that generation, and I am a Black Knight. I mean, I've had 5 Black Knights. I had 1 Grand Lizard, and that's because I couldn't find another one. The one that I bought is actually in Alaska now, I found out, but I sold it, and then somebody had sold it, and now it's in Alaska. The Grand Lizard Magnus save, you could throw the ball with it. It wasn't just like a lockup like on Black Knight.
Oh, that's cool.
You'd hit it, and it would literally, if you hit, you could control how it threw the ball. It was more of a reverse polarization where it would push the ball. I don't even know how the hell it worked, but that Magnus save on that game.
Isn't that something like Alice Cooper? Doesn't that game have something? What game am I thinking of?
I think Alice Cooper has it, but
where it throws it up like you're going down the center drain and it shoots it up.
Yes.
Yep, that's Alice Cooper.
Yeah, I mean it's not the exact same, but
it pushes off. You're straight out the middle. Where it's on Grand Lizard, and it's actually got the lizard hands, but when you'd hit it, it's that game. That game is very underrated because it's not well known, but the guys that have it love it. And that game is, you've got your Cyclone, Comet.
Another one he did is Dracula. Speaking of cool magnet use, Miss Multiball on that.
Miss Multiball, yeah, he really messed around with magnets a lot. I didn't even think of
yeah, that's pretty cool.
A lot with magnets.
I like that.
Miss Multiball is very cool, but it also drove me nuts because I had a Dracula, and I mean, my balls were always magnetized. My balls were always stuck together in the trough. So it used to drive me up a wall. I guess I should have powdered them. And then Pinbot. I mean, Pinbot is it's
iconic.
It was a great game.
Yeah.
And then wow, man,
there's a long list of them.
Yeah.
But I mean, what's a shame is he really hasn't put anything out in a while, and he got
a long time. What, 20 years almost?
96.
Yeah.
Junkyard. But he was he was he was at Deep Root, and it was like, all right, here we go, and he had some stuff.
And then he wasn't a Deep Root anymore. Yeah.
Deep Root was gone. It was like, whoa. And I mean, Deep Root, Deeproot locked up a lot of real good talent and kind of,
Wasted it.
Yeah.
well, it's just it kind of robbed us, the pinball people, of getting to enjoy their stuff, because Dave Thiel has not. We haven't seen
yeah.
Dave Thiel game since Pirates.
Oh, and that was such an amazing what he did.
Oh my
there.
God!
Oh,
I mean,
it was amazing.
I've been a Dave Thiel fan. I can gush over. Dave Thiel did the music for the Commodore 64 Winter Games 1984. I recorded it onto a cassette and used to play it on my boombox. I didn't realize that was Dave Thiel until I was at MGC and he did a thing talking about it, and I'm like, "You did that?" And he goes, "Yeah." And I told him, and I mean,
Did you fangirl?
It sounds like he did.
He fangirled. He totally fangirled.
I'm too cool for that, but no, I've talked to, I've had conversations with Dave. He knows. I mean, he makes the best noise in the business. Him and Thompson make fantastic noise. At Expo the one year, I bought a time machine from a guy, and he had a Laser War marquee that he had made, and it was gorgeous. And I'm friends with Dave on David Thiel on Facebook, and he was doing something where he just built a house, and he said, he's looking for stuff, and I said, hey, I've got this Laser War. It was a big sticker. I've got this Laser War sticker, and and he's like, well, what do you want for it? I'm like, well, I just want you to sign. I had a Torpedo Alley translate. I'm like, I just want you to sign my Torpedo Alley translate. I'll give it to you. And he's like, really? I'm like, dude, you've done so much for me. Like, as far as just any Dave Thiel is kind of, to me, is the Lyman Sheets of noise, as far as pinball is concerned. All of his stuff is, I mean, people whine about, oh, Pirates, there's no, Johnny Depp's voice isn't in it and whatever.
Yeah.
I challenge you, by the third ball, you don't say arg. He was a part of that. I mean, Eric was a part of it as well, and the actor that they had doing it. I mean, it was, everything David does is just, he pulls you in. He knows how to make. He did Alien as well, I believe.
Yeah, he did. I'm so
and
excited
that
for that game.
just pulls you. I mean, that's the thing. He knows how to pull you in. He knows how to turn it up. You play Hobbit, and it's like he knows how to compose a game to make. I could hit that right damn shot on that right ramp shot all day long until I have to, because of his music. It gets my heart pumping, and I get the fever. So, no, I and then with Barry, I mean, good Lord, are we going to see what he did at American Pinball? Is my kind of what I'm wondering. How far along was that game?
I mean, he wasn't there for long, but it's hard to say, and it's just it's very sad.
He had to have a book.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I mean,
it'll be interesting.
We may never even know. Who knows?
Yeah.
But I mean, there's got to be a builder between, with American and with what he did at. I mean, I don't know how much Deeproot owns on that, but he's got to have a book of something where they could do, they could put something out of one of his games, because it's just a damn shame we haven't.
Yeah, he wasn't sitting on his hands for the past 18 years. Like, he was doing something.
He's got to have he's got to have a book somewhere with something.
Yeah.
Or at least what he had worked on here and there and whatever. I mean, I'm guessing he walked into America and said, said, here's what I want to do, or here's what I've got.
Yeah.
But yeah, we got ripped off. We
did.
It's just a shame. And, and with Lyman as well. I mean, what he was going to do at CGC, who knows? I mean, who knows? Chicago Gaming, they're rumoring a licensed a game. But I mean, as soon as I found out they got Lyman, it was like, whoa.
That was huge for them. That made
serious.
them a true competitor in pinball manufacturing versus one of those other ones you're looking at. Yeah, exactly.
They weren't just copying; they were actually now innovating and taking it to the next step. And they're big enough. They've got a big enough facility. They've got enough manpower. They've got enough stuff to, if you go to the Stern facility, it's wow. If you go to, JJP, it's big. But Chicago Gaming's facility Churchill Cabinets is very big. It's a very big place. And they've been doing things for a very long time. So they've got it down. I mean, they've got equipment, they used to make everybody else's cabinets. So yeah, they've got the equipment to do it. And yeah, it's just we got a lot of great stuff in the last 2 years, but we just lost some big,
really big price
hitters
yeah.
in the last 2 years. And yeah, I'm really looking forward to seeing. I'm looking forward to seeing what happens for the rest of the year, and I'm kind of afraid of what happens for the rest of the year, just because it's like what's next. I'm a little.
I mean,
shell shocked.
Betty White pieced out before 2022 hit. That has to be a warning sign.
Yeah, but come on, Betty White.
She's a national treasure.
I know she missed 100 by like a week, but she was 99 years old. God bless you, Betty White. You're a wonderful person. And
she's partying in heaven right now. It's cool.
She wasn't. Yeah, I'm not saying she wasn't wonderful, but I mean, she was 100 years old. It's like Betty White's going to be 100. I mean,
she's older than sliced bread, literally.
Yeah, she was older than Soldier Field.
Yes, she was. She's older than a lot of
Sorry,
things.
you're not from Chicago. Yeah,
I was going to say bread, Soldier Field. We just made a big leap right there.
Not really. Apparently, you've never been to Soldier Field because anyhow, I'm not going to get into it.
We drove past it while we were there. You hush. I pointed. I said, "Look, there's Soldier Field."
Yeah, keep going.
All right.
There's just nowhere to park. You got to drive past it because there's nowhere to park. But anyhow,
exactly. All right. So, kind of wrapping up the show for tonight. I am curious what you guys' top 3 predictions are for 2022. Mike, I'm going to go to you first. What's your top 3 predictions for this year?
Still in slow production, but I bet it will pick up towards the end of the year.
Okay, so there's one.
Well, did we see that they were only doing 2 cornerstones?
Yeah.
Being Stern. So that'll be interesting. And will anybody else fill in? Will JJP get their 2 out this year? I'm going to go with no. They seem to struggle on that front, but we'll see. So we may be lacking one typical pin release this year compared to previous. So I bet that'll be a thing. And then lastly here, third one. I think I'm over the whole losing people in the hobby. So let's see if we gain somebody new. We've got Jack Danger, so I bet he's going to come out with another solid one this year. He's got to, right?
I'm hoping so. I love his excitement and his energy around it.
Yeah. And bonus prediction.
3.
Yeah,
you get to count to 3.
I know.
He said a bonus.
Bonus.
Go ahead.
This is his extra ball.
Yeah. So we're gonna go with maybe we'll get a Ghostbusters this year. Yeah, that game's great. I love that game.
Fahlgren, what's your predictions for this year?
Well, because I always got to throw you in all sorts of loops. Do you think? I mean, Stern did just release that, and that's pinball news. The leaked letter from Gary Stern saying we're only going to do 2 cornerstone games this year. Let's key in on the word cornerstone.
Mm-hmm.
Question is, will there be a J-pop game? Or I'm sorry,
no, there will not be a J-pop game coming out of Stern.
Not a J-pop game. I apologize. Kapow. Will there be a Kapow game?
When was the last one?
Really?
Last Kapow game was Beatles, right?
It's been a while, so
that's what I'm saying. That's my question, because the letter says there will be 2 cornerstone games, which means Stern games. But what about, a Kapow game? So let's keep that in mind. Let's keep that in the back of our angry little heads. And also keeping in mind that everybody was complaining that everybody's got all these orders that haven't been put out. Blah, 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 blah. Where's my game? Where's my Deadpool? Where's my, all these orders that they're outstanding on? And then they announced they're only going to do two cornerstone games. It's like, oh no. Well, I mean,
something, right?
Welcome to the 2020s. I mean, it's just kind of like you get what you get and you don't throw a fit is pretty much what the theme of our world is at this point. So, but I think I because I analyze things a little further than I probably should, but I noticed that he did say cornerstone. So there might be a home version, there might be another home version a la, like Jack's
the pins,
Jurassic Park.
I mean,
So
keep
there
in
might be
mind the
something like
vaults
that.
too.
Yeah.
You keep hearing rumor of a crazy
You got
vault.
vaults. You got vaults.
Mhm.
So yeah, kids, don't just think there's going to be 2 new titles from Stern. There's going to be 2 new cornerstones from Stern. So yeah, you heard it here first. Ta-da! I came up with this one out of my own because I've been watching
Orifice.
I've been sitting, watching some other people comment on, oh, only 2 cornerstones. Well, yeah, only 2 cornerstones. So let's key in on that word cornerstone, and have a little hope. And keep in mind, there's thousands of games that need to be put out, that are fantastic. So, I'm more concerned with let's keep pumping those games out, but I think you're going to see more than just 2 titles from Stern, and yeah, maybe Ghostbusters, maybe who knows what they're going to pull out. But yeah, two cornerstone games. Okay, let's roll from there. Prediction. Okay, so my first prediction is there will be more than 2 games coming out from Stern this year.
That is earth shattering right there.
There you go. Ta-da. Next one would be on the Jersey Jack front. Don't forget we've got some new designers over at Jersey Jack. So if the supply, hey, Uncle Steve's there now. So we've got Steve Ritchie, who has
Steve Ritchie's at Jersey Jack.
Did you hear the news?
Breaking news here first.
I gotta say, and from from running into Steve at Expo, he is excited because he is. This is it. I mean, this is it, Steve. Now you get your chance to do your dirty work and do your dirty deed and make it happen, man. And it's like
exciting.
It's like the cuffs are off. There's no more. There's no reason, and I just hope. I just look forward to getting in front of a Steve Ritchie game and having my eyes pop out of my head and having my hands fall off of my wrists because it was so fast and it was so good and everything just rocked. Because I just feel like there was a lot taken out of his games that he did not. I just feel like he had less control over his games and now he has control. So this is it. I mean, it's like, show us what you got. And so, yeah, I predict you're going to see a Steve Ritchie game this year.
Bold. Very bold. Okay.
You think that's a prediction? Hey.
Yeah. All right. Well, we'll take it. It'd be great.
We'll see a Steve Ritchie game this year. So that's 2 predictions. Boy, I got 1 left. What will be my last prediction? I'm gonna have to think about that for a second. So we've got I predict that between American and CGC, I think we're gonna see a real. I don't want to see a real great game because they came out with some good stuff, but I think there's going to be some surprises at least announced. I mean, Chicago Gaming now they lost a major step when they lost Lyman because that was some major coding. But I think you're going to see I think there's going to be some bright new things coming out. In the next year out of one of those 2. And I'm looking forward to just seeing. I think there's a lot of between Steve being over at Jersey Jack and we don't really even know what's going on at CGC. We don't really know what's going on at American because they're pretty hush hush on things. I think we're going to see some interesting new things coming out. I guess that's it. I mean, I don't really have anything else. That's 3. What's your 3? Because we've burned up because mine got kind of stepped on. So now you're basically walking on. Yeah, you're the third act.
I have my 3. So my first prediction is we're going to see a lot more shakeups amongst well-known names within the industry to create some combinations that we did not anticipate ever seeing before. And that's going to create some brilliant work.
What? Wait, that's like cryptic. What do you mean?
I mean, people move around.
So you think there's going to be some
I think there's going to be some shakeups.
You think there's going to be some designers going to some other builders, and
I think there's going to be some, like a draft system, free agents.
They have like a Brady showing up in Tampa kind of deal.
Yeah, and calling Grunk out of retirement, and hey, let's play some football.
They might unionize.
I like the Grunk out of retirement.
You like that?
So you're saying like a designer's going to jump from one builder to the next, and then pull one of his old buddies to come out of the.
I mean, it's 2022. You never know.
Wait a minute. I forgot my third prediction. I'm going to say one name. Mark Ritchie. I'm going to drop that one.
You would drop the mic if you didn't just adjust the boom, huh?
It's dropping itself. It's a really heavy mic.
Nice.
I got a 30-pound weight on the end of this thing.
Nice. Yeah. So my first prediction is we're going to definitely see some movement between among personnel and manufacturers, and some surprises that come with that. My second prediction is we will finally see a peak in pinball prices towards the end of the year, and then they will start to kind of regulate. And my third prediction is we will not have a Ghostbusters in the house.
Oh, I don't like that one.
Love you, Dwight. I really do, but you had the chance. You've had 2 chances now. And my extra ball prediction.
For the folks at home, if you would have seen it was like Ralphie with the Choo Choo Choose Me. His little heart just broke. I just saw a man deflated on a video screen in front of me.
It's like turning the air off on one of those inflatable wavy arm guys.
When Lisa says in The Simpsons to Ralphie, no, he's like, oh. Right there where you broke his heart.
Yep.
Anyhow.
Literally.
Choose me.
My cat smells like cat food.
My cat's breath smells like cat food. But yep. And then my extra ball is we're gonna have some cool guests on the show this year. I think this is gonna be a show where we really get some interesting personalities on.
Don't screw it up.
If I don't screw it up, which I tried to do today, you guys will hear about that on our next episode when I confess all my my ignorance it was bad.
Shortcomings.
Very big shortcomings. God, I can't believe I did what I did today.
I couldn't shake my head at you enough. I tried.
I'm pretty sure our child is embarrassed for me right now.
Is this what you called me about, or told me to call you about?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, it's pretty good.
So wait, were you calling me just to see if I knew what that was?
Well, I had already asked somebody else who knew what it was.
Yeah, let's not go any further into that, but yeah.
It's okay though. Hey, listen.
Everybody's got to start somewhere, right?
I would really love to do a show. And listeners, I'm curious what your feedback is on this one. So please, 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 if this is something you think is kind of interesting or stupid or whatever, please email us or hit us up on Facebook, freeplaypinballpodcast@gmail.com or freeplaypinballpodcast on Facebook. I would love to have well-known personalities throughout the industry, regardless of manufacturer or who they work for. I want to have people come on and do breakdowns. Like, this is the very basics of pinball. This is what a scoop is. This is what a ramp is. This is what, this is how multipliers work. This is how the difference between a mode and why it's important to start a mode before you start a multi-ball. This is what a VUK is. Just different things like that I think would be really cool, and to have it explained by somebody who actually works in the industry so you don't feel like an idiot, because there are so many different acronyms and phrases and just general words that are thrown around that people may not be familiar with, and I think that would be great for listeners who are new to the hobby or those who are truly hobbyists who want to get further into the hobby.
Yeah. I think that would be interesting, or just like have a
helpful,
like a glossary, a verbal glossary. And I take a lot of things for granted because I haven't even been doing this that long, but I've been doing it long enough. And you don't realize how much you don't know until you go and talk to somebody. It's funny because you call me and ask me stuff. Yeah. And then like the guy that does the board, like he does the board work for me whenever I've got board issues and he's down the street, he basically is convinced I'm just in stamp collecting and I just kind of do this to bother him. 'Cause he's just like, what are you talking? And I'm just like, well, yeah, and I don't know. And my whole thing is, he's like, you could solder that in. And I'm like, but I've got you. Like, why should I risk burning up a foil? Or like, I can drive down the street and then I can talk to you about Star Trek and Star Wars too. So it's like, it's cool.
I'm just going to take up collecting ceramic unicorns because what I did today is unexcusable.
No, I wouldn't say unexcusable. I'd say
it was funny. It's a good story.
But you haven't been. It's completely excusable.
I knew.
The real takeaway.
It's it was that 220, 221, whatever it takes kind of a thing, and it's cool. I don't think anybody should ever be embarrassed about, especially that kind of terminology.
Don't be afraid to ask. That is what you should take away. Never be afraid to ask. Don't let anybody talk down there.
I will say, you can always call your old pal Dave, who isn't. You're not going to feel so bad when you ask me what something is, because I'll be like, oh yeah, it's this and whatever. No, you went and called. Yeah,
I literally just went up the food chain to the CEO and I was like, hey, tell me about the policies on this. Yeah.
Somebody in your house could have.
You weren't home.
You called Carol Shelby and asked him what a clutch is, basically. Yeah. And that's okay. It's okay.
What's a Mustang?
Yeah, what are these round things on the corners of this car?
Ford? What's a Ford?
Yeah.
Ford?
Yeah.
But anyhow, no, it's.
But why is there a horse on the front of this Mustang? I don't understand. Right. Yeah.
So, are we about to get into my boomerang talk?
We're gonna get into your boomerang talk after this quick break where we end the show and then you go talk to yourself.
Well, no, are they TSA approved?
No.
Why wouldn't a boomerang be TSA approved?
I mean,
we're not taking a on the plane.
It's not like one of those steel like Road Warrior boomerangs, is it?
Could be plastic.
Remember that when they cut the fingers off?
Oh my gosh, yes.
See? He knows what I'm talking about. How's that even work?
It's a weapon. It's a weapon.
I don't know. I'm going to look it up.
But are you asking somebody to bring you a boomerang?
He wants a boomerang.
I might take one on the plane. You just don't know.
So somebody's bringing you a boomerang and you're going to take it home?
No.
It could happen, right?
No.
What? No what?
Yeah, it's a stick.
It's like any listeners that are.
Granted, a gun is just a piece of metal, but a boomerang's just a stick.
It's just a boomerang.
And hell is just a sauna. But
let us know if you work for the TSA or know someone who does. Find out.
Dr. John, have you ever taken a boomerang on a plane?
Dr. John was probably born with a boomerang in his hand.
I can ask.
I thought that was a thing.
I don't know. I thought it was a knife. I don't know. Are you texting Dr. John right now? Or are you looking at the TSA?
Would know.
Marty Robbins, hey, let us know. Teolis, if you're listening, ask Marty if we can take a boomerang on a plane.
Yeah, is that TSA approved? I kind of need to know this now. I'm probably gonna lose sleep.
And on that note, thank you everybody for joining us for episode 12 and a half.
That's Dave Fahlgren. I'm Amanda.
Boomerangs are not on the list. Boomerangs are not on the TSA list. Well, that's 2002 though. So
and then
anyways,
this is Mike. #high five.
Oh.
Ninja Bob Ross out.